I'm going to watch Devin Nash's video with you guys. I think it's pretty important to watch. It's very good for the streamers, whether you're big or small or whatever. This video is very good.
The world of live streaming is totally exploding. Growth in viewership and the number of streamers is doubling every year. And an increasing number of people are spending time in the live world watching career broadcasters. But I don't think that we really talk about what that career actually entails. You hear about it from place to place, but there's no one location to get a full idea of it. So today what we're going to do is a complete breakdown on the truth about streaming and what actually comes with it. So please join me for one of the most important videos I've ever made. I have been thinking about this subject for what feels like so long, and so many other broadcasters have talked about it endlessly. What pushed me over the edge, I think, was Asmongold's recent video, where he posted what's really been happening, and Asmongold opens up about his life and future. He talks about the massive mental effect of streaming and how he needs to orient his life in a whole different way in order to be able to sustain broadcasts at the level that he does. We also see this from pretty much every significant full-time creator. I mean, in terms of time invested. And this is not just from larger broadcasters, but also smaller broadcasters. The mental health toll of broadcasting is something that affects every size of broadcaster. And we are not talking about why. Like we see over and over again that there are these people who have these problems, but I don't think anyone has really explained in completely coherent form why these things exist. And that's what I'm going to try to do today. So let's take a look at like what
I like having fun. I like playing things up. I like doing that stuff. And honestly, like if I can't do that, if I can't have fun and I have to constantly like watch what I say because people are going to take it and like use it against me, I just don't want to stream anymore. And that's really the truth. Like there's a big part of me that just wants to quit. I don't want to do it anymore.
So you can just see the emotion here, right? And this is Hassan commenting on Dan's Gaming, kind of a mental health meta commentary on Dan's Gaming, who was expressing at this time some of the difficulties of broadcasting.
Who would have thought that sitting in your living room and talking into a camera for 8 hours a day would have lasting negative consequences on your mental health?
But we're seeing this all over the place. So Pokimane, as of the time of this filming, has basically taken about a month off. It's been hard for me to find the same joys and motivation for making content. The things I look forward to the most, like visiting my family, traveling, going to conventions, meeting something that aren't possible, led me to feeling burnt out for quite some time. I've been planning to take a month off. I recognize that I'm very lucky to be able to do work during the pandemic. How I still need to do what's best for my mental health. So Pokimane actually extended that time, and we're just seeing this all over the place. Another one was Mitch Jones, who has recently quit broadcasting.
That definitely means they're unhappy. A lot of them are fucking miserable and you know, stream to get their views and to get their little attention that they crave. But other than that, they don't care about streaming at all.
That's kind of the setup for this talk. Now, what is like actually going on here? And again, I showed you some examples.
Carbon, it's not as simple as that, mate. We're in a pandemic and everyone losing their jobs, and these guys are having a cry earning $50,000 a month. Honestly, it doesn't matter. As in, like, the money you earn. The money doesn't suddenly just make depression go away. Do you know what I mean? Carbon? I understand it makes life easier, but it doesn't stop depression or mental health issues in general, you know?
I want to be very clear that this affects every content creator. And we're going to go over the...
Also, only the top 0.01% of Twitch are making $50,000 a month. I've never been anywhere near that.
So, of course...
and I'm very aware that we are privileged to be able to work through a pandemic and stream and whatnot. And there's a lot of people in a worse situation than streamers. And this isn't like a, oh, woe is me kind of thing. I just think this video is very, very good. Do you know what I mean? I understand though, Carbon. A lot of people in the world, especially during a pandemic, are struggling for money, and seeing some people who earn a lot of money a month, more than I'll ever earn, complain. You know, there is a danger there of coming across as ungrateful or whatever. But there's definitely, it goes deeper than that. A lot of streamers are alone. I'm lucky enough to have Kel, to I live with someone. A lot of streamers just live alone. And they'll do this. You'll see now, watch.
What is it about streaming that is causing this mental health problem? And why is this so much more prominent in this industry than other places? Now, there's work and overwork is a problem in every industry, but broadcasting kind of takes the cake for a lot of mental health issues. And there's been people that have risen that have tried to help address this problem and talk about it. Dr. K is probably the best known of those people, showing that broadcasters have these issues. And also, there's been charities set up, but one that I'm very passionate about called Rise Above the Disorder. RAD is an amazing charity that helps gamers find therapy. And if you're watching this video looking for that, I will put a link to RAD down below. They're phenomenal. The first reason why people are why mental health is such a problem in this industry is the hours commitment. So I'm going to pull up 3 different profiles. If we look at Amaranth, who is the #1 female creator as of the time of this recording. Amaranth, right now, over the last 30 days, these numbers have changed. So because I've been doing the research for quite a while. So at the time that I took the numbers, the total amount of hour investment of Amaranth live on stream for 30 days was 336 hours. It's now 342 hours. So that's the last. So if we just do the math on that, let me show you here. 342 divided by 4, right? That's per week. Gives you 85-hour weeks. Let me tell you, I am an entrepreneur. I've built 3 businesses. I have worked 85 to 90-hour weeks a few times, and mostly kind of hover around like 60 or 70. My God, a true 85 to 90-hour week is absolutely brutal. And that's not being live. That's just focusing on work. 85 hours is so much. It is an unbelievable amount of time. We can just parse this back down, divide it by 7. It's 12.2 hours of being live every single day, 7 days a week. That's Amaranth's commitment. But it doesn't end there, right? There's Hassan, who also has put in an incredible amount of hours. So Hassan, over the last 30 days, when I took these numbers, was 211 hours. Let's see what he's at now. So he's at 235. He's gone up as well by 15%. So 235 divided by 4. Again, is 58 hours a week. Again, divided by 7 is 8.4 hours per day. So you might say, well, okay, I work 8 hours a day. Like, that's not a big deal. 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, no break, because this is a 30-day period. This is a average taken over a 30-day period, which means that he is not taking days off mostly to get the. If he did take a day off, he'd have to make up 8 hours on another day for that. That's 7 days a week. So very few people put in this kind of time, and you'll get people out there. They're like, oh yes, like I work 70 hours, but like very few people, in my experience in the business world, very few people would truly work over 40 hours a week. But all of the broadcasters who are live are streaming that kind of time, and they're really successful. And you also look at them and you say, okay, this is their live time. Like, they have social media platforms. They have to be in other places. They have commitments. They have collaborations. This is the time they're live on their channel. So the hours commitment is absolutely massive. So if you go look through the total time streamed for many of the top content creators, it is unbelievably high. And this is a problem of Twitch as a service. I want to be very clear that this is something that Twitch is responsible for, either inadvertently or advertently, but doesn't take much ownership of.
I can see what you guys are saying in chat. Like, it's just a choice to do that many hours. For a lot of these creators, it's not like a choice. It's you just don't grow when you're not live. When you're not live, you're not growing. You're not getting prime subs, and other people are taking those subs. So there's pressure to just be on all the time. Those higher viewership channels are a bad example because I feel like they're farming cash. A lot of them are earning unreal. That we saw it on the other video, right? That Amaranth is earning $1.4 million a month from just OnlyFans. From Twitch, it's $80,000 a month. Do you know what I mean? So get a real job. What about all streamers go and get a real job? Streaming's not a real job. Amaranth is earning so much. Why stream that much? She could lower hours, I guess. But you then run the risk of her not being on top anymore, right? It's an entertainment industry. Yeah.
Twitch hasn't built a platform that drives users into the platform to discover new people. So if you want, at a high level, if you want to stream, if you want to get people to discover you, you must stream more. And that's the formula. If you're not live, your channel is effectively dead, right? Because all they do is go to an offline stream. This is different from something, say, YouTube or Instagram or any other platform, really, that is providing value immediately when somebody goes to your profile. If you go to a person's Instagram, there are your images there to consume. If you go to a person's YouTube, there are the VODs to consume, and you can watch those anytime you want. But if you go to a Twitch stream and somebody is offline, then that person is offline, and that's the end of it. And there isn't much value to consume there. You could say, well, you could go into the VODs, but there isn't a culture of checking VODs. And also, like, the nature of live streaming is such that you have to be there in the event and the moment.
And there isn't a culture of checking VODs on Twitch, right? There isn't a culture of checking VODs. Like on YouTube, people go and watch YouTubers all the time when they're not live, right? And they'll watch a YouTube video. But not a lot of people go and watch Twitch VODs. Only really dedicated people that are you know, actual fans of that person will go and watch a Twitch VOD. And I understand it. Unless something's happened or someone's linked to tweet or whatever, someone's linked a clip from a stream, I'll go and watch that. Do you know what I mean? Or if it's like an esports event, I'll go and watch that back maybe.
So that means that the people that put in the most hours are going to grow the most. And this is something that is not going to change. It's just the nature of live streaming. Twitch can make it a little bit better by making the platform more discoverable, but this is a pretty big problem. Let me also say that this does not apply to smaller broadcasters. It's actually the opposite with smaller broadcasters. This is one of the biggest misunderstood things about broadcasting is that if you are a large broadcaster, so a Hassan Abi or an Asmongold, the best thing you can do is stream more hours. I'm telling you the problems with it, but that's the best thing you can do. If you are a smaller broadcaster,
that's why the worst thing you can do
is stream more hours, because you will not get more discovery by streaming more hours. This is the #1 mistake that broadcasters in the smaller areas do. If you're below 2,000 to 3,000 concurrent viewers, streaming more will just simply not help you because you're not in the directory getting discovered.
So he's just said it there. So for someone my size, if I stream more, it's not even going to help. If I do 8-10 hour days, 7 days a week, it's not going to help me. Twitch don't push 1, 2, 3, 4,000 viewer streams enough. They don't push 100 viewer streams enough. But for someone my size, streaming more isn't gonna help my channel.
This hour commitment puts up what I call the always on mentality. And the always on mentality is a big part of what Asmon talked about in this video and what you saw in this clip before. It's this idea that you have to play up the audience, you have to be entertaining, you have to step outside of yourself to be someone else. And that gets exhausting if you're naturally an introverted person, which happens to be most people who play video games. I have struggled with this myself so many times over the years. I've been broadcasting for 9 years live. And so many times I felt like I knew that the more that I played up something, the more that I did dramatic pauses and comedic effect, the more that I would get and garner viewership and get clips and get discovered. People want that kind of rodeo clown mentality, and that's why channels that appeal to that demographic and people that are really extreme in their reactions like XQC are so successful, because Twitch goes towards a younger audience and it begets that kind of crowd. I've learned since then, since I've gotten quite a bit older and I've been streaming for a long time, that I just don't want to vibe with that my mental energy is not well invested in that space. And so I just make 60-minute videos about mental health, and I just talk about it the way I would talk about it. And the people that are going to get value from that are less, but those of you that are here will get more of it. And I'm grateful for that. But you have to detach yourself from those numbers, and that's so hard to do.
What he's talking about now is the pressure that I felt. Like, this is the biggest pressure that I feel like I'm under at the minute. Like, one of them is just everybody else just seems to be able to stream 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. But one of the biggest pressures that I personally feel is being always hype, always on, always trying to, you know, I don't know, just be extra. And my personality, IRL, is not that. I am introverted. I'm boring as fuck. I painted my garage floor yesterday, and I fucking had a great time painting it. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucking boring. But on stream, I feel like you need to always be, let's fucking go, come on, let's go, woo, and just be fucking always just fucking doing crazy shit. And recently, I've just not, I don't know, cope with COVID, staying in all the time. You know, my girlfriend, we've just been through a horrible period with a miscarriage. Everything's great now with, you know, the pregnancy now and everything. Sometimes my mood is not like that. Sometimes we have bad news in the day. Same as you guys, right? Same as you guys. Same as everybody in all walks of life, no matter what the job is. Sometimes you're just not up for work that day. I remember going to the bar job and being upset about something, like some news I got, and then people tell me to smile. Do you know what I mean? I'll be serving them a drink, and my grandma's just died or something, and I'm obviously not smiling. I'll be serving them a pint, and they just go, "Oh, smile," and you want to be like, "Fuck off, you fucking knobhead," and tell them what you think, but you can't because you're at work, right? And it's the same with this. Like, I can't be happy. Let's go hitting all crazy shots every day, 10 hours a day, all day. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking impossible. So with COVID, and I'm sure you guys have done the same with COVID, streamers aren't alone in this. It's all walks of life. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why you see this chasm between people who truly love a game, but then they just stream it and they're like, "Oh, it's dead to me." There are so many people that I've seen that happen to, and probably people that you have watched or you know that has happened to, where they'll have a game that they love and they'll be like, "Oh God, I just don't want to play this anymore." Like the act of streaming it makes it exhausting. So that is why that happens. It's that always on mentality. Direct feedback and negativity involved. Twitch is the only platform that you consistently receive direct and live feedback without a great way to filter it. Or another way to say this is, if you stream, you will consistently see negative comments. The brain always has a tendency to focus on negative comments. And you can ask any large broadcaster that because of the anonymity of the internet, it leads people to be able to feel like they can issue these comments to a person and that person isn't human.
Someone said before, does playing other games help me mentally? It would if there were more games that I liked, but at the minute I just like shooting games, and I don't like anything with wizards in or anything like that. I wish I did, but I just don't. Do you know what I mean? I wish I enjoyed more games. I love video games. I did game design at university. I studied it for 4 years, but I'm just not into that type of games, and I don't know. And to be a streamer, you need to be having fun, right? It's a big part of, sorry, a little bit sad. It's a big part of being a streamer is having fun in the game. If you're not having fun in a game and you're a streamer, your viewers will see that and they'll just leave. So I don't want to stream a game that I'm not going to have fun with, because it's not good for you and it's not good for me.
And the only thing you can really do is the Joe Rogan strategy of post and ghost, right? Which is just like you post and then you leave. But you can't do that on Twitch because the chat interaction is an integral part of most broadcasts. So you have to exist in that negativity. And that is a sort of Damocles that hangs over you constantly. And you just have a very difficult time like processing that. And eventually it's going to lead to burnout. It's a really, really hard problem.
Airto Subnautica was good. I enjoyed it, but I obviously lost about 1,000 subs playing it. And I lost followers from playing Subnautica. I didn't gain anything.
Clout chasing in numbers. Oh man, is this a big one? You are bound to your follower number, CCVs, tips, viewership, etc. As a full-time broadcaster, the ups and downs of being bound to CCV, the constant guess of viewership every day and viewership numbers, is an exhausting proposition. Today, you could have 1,000 viewers. Tomorrow, you could have 3,000 viewers. And then for the next week, you even out at 2,000 viewers, and you feel like a failure. Only in live broadcasting can you receive 100% growth and still be miserable. In any other business, if you got 100% of your revenue or doubled your results, you would be ecstatic. But in live streaming, it can feel like that because of the neurotic swings of viewership. And the problem with the neurotic swings of viewership is you can't actually know most of the time over a short period of time why your viewership is fluctuating thusly. I have fielded dozens and dozens of messages from broadcasters over the years about how depressed they've gotten and how sad they are because certain days have affected their viewership. This is a huge problem. But in addition to that, you're also dealing with the comparisons to everyone else. So particularly in gaming categories that are very focused, like Escape from Tarkov or Path of Exile or Magic the Gathering, it's very easy to look at the top few influencers in that category and then constantly feel put out because they might be doing better than you. You don't just compare yourself to your own viewership every day. Good God, you also compare yourself to everyone else's. So if someone else is doing better than you, it's almost impossible the way that Twitch is built as a directory system, as a kingmaker, that a person that has 5,000 viewers is inherently doing better than a 2,000 viewer person, which by the way is completely not true. What matters on the back end is viewer engagement, monetization. For example, there are people that have 1,000 viewer streams that are making close to $500,000 a year. There are people with 1,000 viewer streams that are making under 40K a year. So it just depends on how you monetize that and how you look at it.
I'm making anywhere near that.
This comparison to everyone else is this sort of constant problem that people do. It's really disheartening to constantly look and see other people outperforming you and feel like your content is not enough.
Be more foot streams.
Okay, but we're not done. Not being able to stream what you want. Between what a streamer wants to do and what they have to do. What do I mean by that? While certain types of viewership are not going to be popular, how many variety broadcasters have you heard complain that if they go onto a certain game, they are getting half their viewership and just people don't want to watch that? Many people that build their brands on a certain type of identity cannot
I will
transition
catch up with
those
subs and
audiences
stuff in a
over
minute.
to other
Thank you.
places, and as a result feel really bad about it. I was notorious for this as a League of Legends streamer full time, and one of the reasons why I decided to stop streaming and go into business and only create content as a side job was because I was a full-time League of Legends streamer. At the time on the platform, I had around 2.5 to 3,000 concurrent viewers and just as many subscribers. I was killing it, but I could not play League of Legends. I remember I curled up in a ball underneath my desk one day and I cried because that was how hard it was to imagine streaming another day of League of Legends and having 5 people on my team tell me that I should die and all various other things that I can't mention on YouTube or I get demonetized. So it gets to the point where it is mentally exhausting. Like I understand the privilege that I had being able to make money off of video games, but it's like not this dream that people think. Just imagine like being assigned to some menial task and like no matter what you get paid at some level, it doesn't matter. Look at Asmongold. The guy's clearing millions of dollars a year, but he's not happy. And you'll see this consistently across every broadcaster in the top levels. Pokimane is so successful. She's a multi-millionaire. She can afford everything, but money is not solving her problems. Hassan, money is not solving any of these problems. There is some real struggle within streaming. Like one of the worst things we do to broadcasters as a community, listen up. This is so important. One of the worst things we do to broadcasters is we make them feel marginalized because they play video games, and we make them feel like, oh, because you play video games, you should be grateful. You should be ecstatic that you make money this way. And like that undermines the reality that this is a really difficult job that is super duper time consuming, has an enormous amount of negativity compared to other jobs. I am so tired of hearing people dog on broadcasting like, oh, you play video games, like that's the easiest thing in the world, must be nice, right? Give it up. Like that is the worst thing for these broadcasters to hear. A little bit of a rant there, but super important. Broadcasters don't usually get to do what they want to do. Even if they start streaming a game like Path of Exile because they love the game, playing that game for thousands of hours, 12 hours a day, being a balloons only streamer or whatever, right, is exhausting. It's so much, and you have to imagine that. Not being able to stream what you want is like one of the number one things that is so difficult, and so it causes broadcasters to get into this place where they
imagine wanting to stream a game, but the cheaters have infected everyone's cheating in it. Imagine really wanting to stream a game and you really enjoy it, but there's cheaters playing it all day, every day. And then a game company does nothing about it. Imagine dedicating your life to that game and absolutely loving it and being passionate about it, and then the devs not doing anything about it. What Devin doesn't touch on as well is the pro players who play a game professionally and stream. So not only have they got all these worries from streaming, they have their pro careers to worry about and take on as well. Imagine somebody who's a streamer and a pro player at the same time. It's actually insane.
Parasocial relationships, harassment, and stalkers. So just a couple of examples of this. There's a very powerful article on Deserto where Sweet Anita and Choco Barros talk about their respective stalkers. Sweet Anita having a person who slept on her lawn, would peek through her windows, and Choco
What
having
the fuck?
a sort of a similar experience where just these horrible.
Imagine
tweets. I often
sleeping
think
on
about how I'll
someone's
probably
lawn.
die by the hands of a stalker, and no one could do anything about it. This is heavy to talk about, but if it does happen, I hope my death means something and protects other creators from similar situations. One
Holy
of our
shit.
people that we represent, Amaranth, just recently had her house set on fire by somebody that came by and just littered trash on fire, and it almost blew up her car, right? This is the heaviest thing I'm going to talk about. I'm sorry I do, and like, you got to bear with me through this, because this is something we've got to get out there, guys. Like, particularly for female broadcasters, the issue of harassment is unacceptable, but this is not exclusive to female broadcasters. XQC had to leave his home because of people doing swats and people doxing his house. Multiple broadcasters have had to move.
Again, maybe the top 0.01% have the money to hire security, but you're getting into like celebrity status. Like, I've got a meetup next week, right? We're having a meetup. It's gonna be fucking great. But I can't imagine me bringing security to the meetup. It'd be fucking well weird, and 99.999% of the time completely unjustified. Imagine if I rocked up with a big fucking bruiser stood behind me and
A high level broadcaster, I would say within the top 0.1%, at some level, you are inevitably going to run into this. I'm sorry to say, if you're a female broadcaster, it's guaranteed. One of the reasons why why VTubing is taking over and becoming such a prominent thing is because VTubers get to be more anonymous. So people like Silvervale and Momo have talked about the difficulty of like the imagining trying to be a girl and presenting yourself on stream and having people look at you in all these ways. Not only is that extremely difficult to a person's self-image, people like Lily Pichu have talked about this a lot and have created VTuber avatars so that sometimes they can just relax and they can just kind of chill out and run on a cool. And I love the VTubing phenomenon. Like, it's so awesome that
I never
that's
thought
like
it was VTubing.
one of the main undercurrents
thought of
that's
VTubing
empowering
in
women
that
right now
way.
is VTubing. It's awesome. It's so cool that we have that.
It helps
But
protect
like
females.
women that put themselves out there to get judged
I thought it was a bit
for
lame, but
their
that's a good way to
physicality,
put it.
which is mostly what they get judged for. I don't know if it has a solution. Like, the nature of live streaming creates these parasocial relationships because you interact with this broadcaster in this direct way, and they can respond to you in real time. It feels like they're talking to you. So people that have a lot of mental health issues gravitate towards these people. They're my friends. Oh, they care about me. Maybe they could even love me. There's so many messages that my girlfriend gets, or that influencers that I know that I represent get, that are like, will you marry me? Like will you be with me? I can tell you love me. Like, they're these really sad messages. Sometimes I see messages a lot of the time from female influencers that they show me. They're just pages and pages of people writing with no response back. And this is something that is really difficult to talk about. And maybe if you know a person, or you are watching this video and you're here, please
anything like that crossing the line?
consider that charity. Nope. It's
everyone that I've met's been super cool.
Like the ultimate the ultimate thing
Been really
that we
nice.
can do to help this process is to encourage people that therapy is okay, and that it is okay to see a therapist, and it is great to see a therapist, and that everyone should be able to. Rise Above Disorder tries to connect people to people who can get for affordable mental health or free mental health. And it is an incredible charity. Dr. K is also doing a lot of work in this area. So those are the two people that I'd recommend right now. But this is an issue that if there's anything I want you to take away from it, it's just to be aware
Toast,
of it.
that's why I
And
wanted to watch this
support
on stream.
broadcasters that are going through it. That's all. That's the only thing that I think I could recommend here. Support the charities and the broadcasters that are going through it, because this is like the real hidden dark side of broadcasting. So what you'll see here is a interconnected group of communities. This is represented by Kagursh, who is an awesome person that updates this map. And you can
Am I
see
in
here
this?
how
Am I a
of
big enough streamer
communities.
to be in this?
This is represented by
Pepe
Kagursh, who is an awesome person that
Is that Pestily? Sacriel? Where's Break? There's no Break. Sag. Pepe Hands. I'm not big enough. Shroud Lyric, Co, Summit. I mean, I'm subbed to Shroud, Summit, Cole, Lyric, Sack, Choco Taco, Landmark. Not subbed to Bob Ross.
Updates.
Because I don't really duo with anyone or do any collab streams, I don't think I'd be on this list anyway. Because I'm not a collaborator. These are all people that play with each other, right? This is the whole thing. It's kind of interesting though. This would be this way, right? Nick Mercs, Tfue, Tim the Tatman. This would be over this way, no? Lupo. Is there a key to what the colours mean, or I'll be out here on my own somewhere, won't I? On Planet fucking Break. I'll be up there somewhere. I think the blue is everyone that says let's go baby 600 times a stream. Look for the bin icon.
You can see here how these communities intertwine. So if you look at the purple, for example, you'll see XQC, Mizkif, GM Hikaru, Soda Papa, and Greek God. You'll see that everybody in Twitch is connected. On YouTube, since there's mostly algorithmic discovery, this is not the same way. But
It's not
Twitch
collabs.
is actually,
No,
I don't see.
it's viewership shared, right? I know it's not collabs. It's who shares the viewers and where they come from.
It may not seem like it because it seems like such a vast platform, but it's actually like quite a niche platform in a really real way. And you can expect to have a certain percentage crossover with other audiences that are within your genre.
The collabs help the viewer crossover, I guess. But this isn't related to who's collab with who.
One of the ways to look at this is you can go into your dashboard if you're a creator, and you can see the crossover audience that there is with other creators. So it'll show you, I think, on the bottom right of the insights.
Does that mean that you guys only watch me? I think that's what it means, right? You guys don't watch anyone else but me.
Rick Elite.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Loyal fans.
It'll show you streamers that you have viewers in common with, and you'll be surprised if you have over like 100 to 500 viewers. Like you'll have huge crossover audiences, like sometimes upwards to like 20 to 50% crossover audiences with other broadcasters. So it just goes to show just how closely knit these communities are. So it's very easy if there are 2 or 3 broadcasters in your category to view those people as direct competition. You don't really view YouTubers in the same way.
I'm getting a bit comfy.
And this is actually a problem that is getting better on Twitch because collaborations are happening. So people are more comfortable with sharing viewership, which is good. That's a good thing that's improving. What do? I think the first thing and the most obvious thing is awareness. You, as an individual viewer, regardless of whether you're a content creator watching this or not, but as an individual consumer, being aware of this issue already empowers the issue.
Yeah, talking to you, Angry Face, Dopest Kush. Yeah, you guys.
Increased awareness on issues will in of themselves start to contribute to the solution of the issue. You watching this video are an army of one. And if you bring up your awareness in this and you start to adapt behaviors that not only do not encourage this kind of thing, this mental health toll that is on broadcasters, but also brings people up, you are one part of the army of a solution that starts to make that possible. And if enough people get on board with that, the problem diminishes. If all people get on board with that, the problem disappears. So awareness is the final issue here. And this is why I created this video.
I'd just like to say thanks to you guys for watching this video. Because it is very important. I know that sounds like a stupid sentence, but you obviously fucking care enough to watch this and watch me watch this. And it is really important for what he says, so go and subscribe to Devin Nash. Am I subscribed? I am subscribed. Go and subscribe to him.
For broadcasters that might be struggling with this, that might be watching this, because I know there's a lot of you, the number one thing you can do is diversify.
Gotta cancel my Breck sub for a Devin Nash sub. Sorry, BRK Bleb.
I meant subscribe on YouTube, not on Twitch. Keep your sub to me.
Especially revenue
Thanks,
generating ones. Have other sources of income that come in that can distribute the amount of stress. You need to be able to feel like you can take time off.
So to diversify, subscribe to my Clip Clop, subscribe to my YouTube. At the minute, I don't think I'm worthy enough of any other paid platforms. When my content improves and I feel like I've got something to share with you guys, Maybe I'll do a Patreon, but at the minute, I'm not going to do a Patreon. I know that seems counterintuitive, but honestly, I feel like if you guys want to support me, then people already do that. I don't think people are going to support Patreon with PUBG clips. So I need to figure out what kind of content I want to put out there. Mainly maybe OnlyFans, butt pics and stuff. My mental health is okay, I guess, at the minute, and I've like cut my hours from what I used to, right? I cut from the height of PUBG, I guess, and a little bit of Arma 3 when I was doing the long hours. I was in 6 days a week, I think, 8 to 10 hours a day, and then I've toned that down now to 5. But there was like there was a lot of messages in there. It was a really good video. And there's like, for you guys in chat that don't stream, you have no intention of streaming, I guess most of you guys in here are all right. Like a lot of you guys, the majority of you guys are all right, but you just have to be aware of the things you say in streamers chats, especially if you're kind of like taking the piss, being negative or whatever, because it does add up. And somebody that's not, I'm pretty mentally tough with it, and you guys say stupid shit about me most days, but I find it funny. Other people might not. Other streamers might not. If you do that, I can kind of take it. Other streamers might not. So as a viewer, your part in this is huge as well. I'm not saying suck up to streamers, but I guess try and be positive, and I guess you don't know what someone's going through, do you? No matter how much they earn, no matter all these big streamers that they refer to, where Amrant's earning 1.4 mil a month off OnlyFans and 80 grand off Twitch, and all these other streamers that are earning a lot of money. Just because they're earning a lot of money does not mean they are not depressed and maybe on the edge.
All.
Do you know what I mean?
If you are a UK resident, you have free access to mental health help if you're in a hole. There are great charities out there too. It's okay to not be okay. No matter what your head says, you are loved. Stay strong.
Thanks, Bisbee. True, man. I feel like we've spoke about a lot of the shit on my stream that Devin said over the past year. Like, I feel pressure. Like, I've gone from doing crazy hours to doing 5 days a week, and maybe not even doing 8-hour streams 5 days a week. Maybe some days it's 6, 7, 5-hour streams some days. But everyone around me doing 12-hour streams with no days off, 7 days a week, like, that puts pressure on me. It makes me feel like I'm being like lazy. It makes me feel like I'm getting left behind. But that's like just part of the job, I guess. You know, I just plain and simple, I'm 36. I've done this since I was 26. I've done this for nearly 10 years now. I cannot keep that rate up anymore. I can't do the 60, 70 hours a week that I used to do. I cannot do it. And the whole persona of being always on, always happy, always fucking, trying to always be entertaining for 5, 6 days a week, always be entertaining during all those 8 hours that you stream, is fucking difficult. It is mega difficult to always be entertaining and always be happy and always seem, do you know what I mean? It's kind of tiring. But I'm aware that I'm coming from, to all those people like, oh, you play video games. I'd love to play video games for a job all day. I do love doing this, and I know that I am very privileged to do this, and I get where you're coming from. I remember when I first started playing with Sacriel, and Sacriel had been full-time for like 2 years, and I first started playing with him, and I'd get up in the morning and would be playing DayZ at like 10 AM, and I'd play from midday and I'd stream, and it'd get to about 3:30, and I'd work at 5 in the bar, and I'd play for like 3 and a bit hours, and I'd be like, "Alright, mate, I've got to go now." And he'd be like, "Oh no, like, you know, fuck it off, don't go to work." I'm like, "Oh, mate, I've got to," and I'd have to leave. And I remember clicking my end stream button and sitting there and just wishing that I could do that. I'm wishing I could do what Sacriel did, wishing that I really wanted to do it full time. I really didn't want to have to go to work. I didn't want to get on the bus to travel into town to then get off the bus and go to work. I just wanted to sit and play video games. So I know where a lot of people, you know, a lot of you guys who want to do what I do are coming from, or think that what I do is great. I know where you're coming from. I know why you're saying that. You're not just being salty. You're not just being dismissive of it. It is a real thing. I was in that very position. However, having done it for 10 years now, it's fucking harder than you think. It is harder, and it does get old, and it isn't just playing video games, and you run your own business. It's tough. I would like to see that mentality slowly fade away, and that a lot of people hopefully change their mind and think streaming is a fucking real job. I run my own business. I have to do a lot more than just play video games. Hopefully that kind of opinion will slowly start fading away the more normal it comes. But a lot of people, I saw a Reddit thread, I think it was just on general Reddit, and it said something like, what is something you hope becomes obsolete in 20 years? And do you know what the top answer was? Content creators and influencers. Someone said that. And I get the I don't like calling myself an influencer because I don't think I am. And I get why people might think that, because a lot of them do seem kind of like stuck up their own arse. A lot of them do seem I don't know. A lot of them seem knobheads. I'll be honest. And maybe it's wrong of me to think that. So I do kind of see why people might say that. It kind of shocked me, because I thought, fucking hell, there's probably people that actually hate me. But it's a really good video, and if you want to watch it back without me pausing it and talking about it, you should watch it back. It deserves way more views. Hopefully it does get a lot more views and attention, because it's interesting if you're Amaranth size. It's interesting if you're my size streamer. It's interesting if you're a 500, 200 viewer streamer, and it's interesting if you're a 0 to 10 viewer streamer. It's like actually really good. And it's fucking, if you do care about Twitch and you're on Twitch a lot of the time, it's really interesting as a viewer. And I really do hope people see it from our POVs. And I don't want to do the woe is me, I'm a streamer, it's really difficult, because I understand there's a lot more difficult jobs out there.
Making someone else feel better, irrespective if you know they are having a bad time or not, is more rewarding than you can put a monetary value on. Lose the toxic. Grow up and grow out.
Yeah, I agree. That video definitely caught my attention, and it should be viewed by everyone. Thanks for sharing it with us. Thanks, Hannah. The video is there if you want to watch it. It's good. As a Twitch streamer, and as anyone, a personality on the internet, I feel like sometimes you can just fade and you can just drop off, and there's no reason to it. Like, do you know, for example, this might be a bad example. Do you remember yo-yos? Did anyone have that yo-yo craze where people just had yo-yos all over school for like 6 months? Everyone had a yo-yo, and then fucking disappeared. And then everyone had Tamagotchis, and everyone's like, fucking Tamagotchis, the mint, yeah. Disappeared. And then everyone had, yeah, fidget spinners. I was a bit old by then. Fidget spinners. And then they fucking disappeared. I feel like streamers are always on the edge of that. My age is showing. Streamers are always on the edge of that. I feel like streamers are always on the edge of that. And you start streaming another game. Like I streamed Subnautica, and I told you the other day, stream Subnautica for a few days, and you guys are always encouraging me to stream different games, because you can see how much I'm struggling. So I streamed another game, and I told you I lost followers. People unfollowed me. So it wasn't like people weren't following. People actually clicked the unfollow button when they saw me streaming a different game. And obviously I dropped subs because I'm not streaming a game that I'm known for. And I can't say fuck them. It wasn't Twitch removing bots. It happened specifically on the days that I streamed different games. And then I'll stream PUBG and other games. How did EFT? Well, EFT is solid because of the way Twitch works. And this isn't their faults. But when you're in a stream category with people like Pestily didn't take a day off streaming for, what was it? A month? 2 months? And Pestily, again, this is because of his success and his hard work. This is nothing against Pestily. He had more viewers asleep than I had live. So do you understand how much of a kick in the bollocks that feels like? More viewers watched him sleep for 50 days than watched me live actually playing the game and shooting people and interacting live on chat. Then you've got Landmark, who does 12-hour days, 7 days a week. I can't go up against that. I cannot go up against somebody that streams 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So the category is dominated by, and they're both very nice people. They're both really good guys. They're both excellent at the game. They both do loads of content on YouTube and whatnot. Whereas that in the old days, that would make me stream more. I'd see them doing the hours, and in the old days, I'd do what Landmark does. I do 12-hour days, 7 days a week. I'm 36. I've got a baby on the way. I cannot do that now. I probably physically can't do it. I'll be honest. It'll probably make me ill at my age trying to do that. So when I was in Escape from Tarkov, I just couldn't take off in it, and I feel like there's more people in that community is already well established. You know what I mean? It wasn't. If I would have been playing Escape from Tarkov from the beginning, maybe I would have been bigger in the Escape from Tarkov category, but I would have never played PUBG, so I'd have never blown up in that category as well. It was difficult to grow. It's difficult to grow in a category where someone is always fucking live. And Pestily didn't stop being live for 50 days, so it was difficult to grow for everybody in that category. But that's not Pestyly's fault. That's because Pestyly's a great creator. He's built an amazing community. He's diversified. He's great. I'm not in the business of putting anyone down. It was very difficult to grow in that category because of the people that streamed it. You don't really get that with PUBG streamers. There aren't really many PUBG streamers that stream for 50 days straight in the PUBG category that speak English. This is why when a new game comes out, people do not stop playing it, because it's bad. The people that stream the longest and who are on all the time and who are semi-good at the game, they will be at the top. If they have that little bit of luck, if they have that viewer base already there, they have to have certain things. Twitch always promotes the longest time streaming. Like, you'll do well out of it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for being a wonderful community. Catch you tomorrow, alright? Later, dudes. Bye-bye.